Everybody loves a good biscuit.
Let's swap in. Hello and welcome back to the Potty Mouth Show.
Guys, Thanksgiving is right around the corner and Blake and I have pumpkin spiced things up, eaten Paula Deen's butter diet, and about to eat a lot more in the next coming weeks. Me and you are going to be stuffed.
Oh, hold on. Gotta get ready for it. I gotta stretch out my stomach.
And speaking of stretching out stomachs, we're going to be stretching out some dough because it's time for...
Notebook Cooks.
Today we making biscuits. Damn it. Today we making biscuits.
Ah!
Anyway, have you ever made biscuits before?
Nope.
Okay, so it is almost Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure Thanksgiving at this time is next week. So it'll be a great time to make some biscuits. Biscuits. Have you ever made biscuits? I already asked that question. You said no.
Correct.
Right, okay. So, the funny thing is, it's Notebook Cooks. I'm not using a recipe, although my grandmother used to make biscuits all the time, so I know exactly what to do.
Okay.
So I'm not cheating, but I do know what to do. Okay?
Sounds good.
Cool. So, first of all, we're gonna cube the butter. Since you don't really know what I'm doing, I'm just gonna kind of hand you stuff and you'll do it.
Sounds good.
All right, cool. So we're gonna cube the butter. Have you ever cubed butter?
What is it?
Cubing butter?
Cut it?
You take it, cut it once down the middle, like that. Cut it once again. And you'll make 4 little, like, mozzarella stick looking things, right? And then you take them, put them on top of each other, and then you just cube the butter.
Makes sense.
Like that. So once you've cubed the butter, that's pretty much it for that. Now we're moving on. Here, hold this for me.
Hold it.
Now we're moving on to the actual dough itself. We're going to use 2 cups flour, and then we're going to do 1 tablespoon baking powder. Then we're going to do a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of sugar.
And milk.
All we're going to do is we're going to whisk this up. Get that all combined. And then we're going to take our butter and we're going to drop her in. Now, I don't know what this process is called. But it's you're basically emulsifying the butter. I don't know. What's this thing called? Do you know?
Chopping.
You're cutting in.
Cutting in the butter. I'm cutting in the butter. So all we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're just going to stir it in until it looks like cornmeal. Have you ever seen cornmeal?
Yep.
So we're basically going to make this look like cornmeal. Now this recipe should make about 4 biscuits, the amounts that we're using. So if you guys want to make more for your family or whatever, just double or triple the recipe, how many of you have to have.
Makes sense.
So we're going to make a little well.
Okay. Well, why are you making a well?
So we make a well to pour the liquid in. So that way I can fold the flour in from the sides. And instead of like mixing my hand around, I can just kind of fold it in and start making the dough without really it's all centralized in one place.
Gotcha.
So that way it's less mess and it's easier to get everything done. So we're gonna start off with 1/4. Now or 2/4. It actually calls for 3/4 more or less. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. So we're gonna do 1/4 right in the middle. And then 2/4 or 1/2 cup. All right, and then we'll wait and see if I need more. So we'll fold that in. Kind of start mixing around your fingers. You don't need to use a spatula. You can if you want, but I always like getting in there with my hands. You don't really need to use a spatula. Also with biscuits, you don't want to work the dough super hard because you'll make it super packed and condensed. So just kind of like, see how I'm kind of like loosely folding it together and it's kind of starting to form a dough? That's all we need. That's all we need to do.
You just gotta fondle it a little bit.
We're just fondling the dough. Okay, I'm gonna ask for another 1/3. Now, like I said, this is all
1/3 or 4th?
4th. Another 4th. It's all by eye. You can't. It's not really super. Go ahead. It's not really an exact amount. Sometimes you'll need a little bit more, sometimes you need a little bit less, but these biscuits are amazing. So just take your time with it and create a nice little dough. And I'll show you what it should look like here in a little bit once we get everything done. Starting to form. You can see all the wet coming in.
The moisture.
The moistness.
That is the dough.
But see, it's starting to form now. I'm just gonna kind of start to knead it a little bit to start making a dough ball. Or we're gonna use just a splash more. So now, I'd probably measure it out just to be safe. Go ahead, only half of that. Stop. All right. So, like I said, it's really just by eye and by how much liquid you actually need to make this dough. You don't need a lot of liquid. Look at that. I only used 1/4 of a cup, and it's done. So the dough should feel a little sticky, but ultimately, we'll roll it around, knead it a few times, make sure it's solid. And that's your dough, guys. That's it. Done. Here's this. I want you to butter that pan for me. And then we're going to start on creating the biscuits. So I have some flour. You're gonna wanna thoroughly flour your surface, okay? That way your biscuits don't, oh, and our oven's ready. So we're gonna thoroughly flour it, that way we can set the dough ball down. Just like that, nice little layer. And then we're also gonna put a little bit of flour on top of the actual dough. Easier to grab and everything. Okay? So we're gonna grab that, and boom, look how perfect that is. Nice little dough ball, not sticking to my hands. And these are super easy to make, guys. So, we're gonna put a little bit, now we have the rolling pin. We're gonna take some flour and we're gonna put it on the rolling pin. Blake, you might ask, why would you put it on the rolling pin? That's weird. Why would you put it on the rolling pin? That's weird. We put it on the rolling pin so that way the dough doesn't stick to the actual pin and make it all weird.
I guess that makes sense.
Now here is the biggest part about the whole thing. This is the hardest part, is not flattening it out too much. If you roll them out too much, it'll get really compressed and really gross.
How do you know if it's too much?
I'll show you. So, all we're gonna do is we're gonna start in front, we're gonna go back once, we're gonna go forward once. All right, we're gonna turn it, and we're gonna do the same thing. 1, 2. And there's your biscuits. That's it. You go any lower, they're gonna get really compressed and dense, and you don't want that. So right now, I can roll this up a little bit more to make sure we have enough for 4 biscuits. Kind of fold that in a little bit. All right, done. So, like I said, we're probably about a 1/2 inch thick on these biscuits, but they'll rise up and they'll be really, really good. So this is a little plastic kid's cup from Charlie Brown. So, and we're just gonna take it, and you're gonna get a nice firm press on the dough. Right there. And when you have it down, you're gonna twist. See that? Boom. Biscuit. All right, so now these are gonna go in the oven at 450 for 15 minutes. Biscuits are almost done. They've been in there for 15 minutes. All we're gonna do is take a little bit of butter, melted butter. So just take any kind of butter, melt it. And you're gonna go over the top of them. Nice, covered in butter. Really nice. Just, yeah, get the whole thing covered. Just like that. Beautiful. Oh yeah. All right, now what we're gonna do now is, where's my thing? All we're gonna do now is we're gonna put them back in the oven for just a few minutes. Let them really get that butter in there. And then they'll be done. So give us just a few minutes and then we'll be right back.
See ya.
Like they're literally almost falling apart in my hands. That was really hot. And the best part about it, you don't even really need butter, but if you want to, you can always add more. Boom. So pop these puppies open. Take a look at that. Oh my God, look at that. Look how flaky that is. You get a nice hard top, but then you have, I mean, just these layers upon layers of flaky,
oh yeah,
buttery biscuit. Good job, bro. Oh my God. So good, melts in your mouth. Great flavor. I mean, these are biscuits you go to restaurants and pay for. Like, and you could make these at home. It takes you literally, what, 30 minutes?
At the most.
Yeah, 30 minutes from the time you start to putting them on your plate. Like, these are
So good.
perfect. Jam, apple butter would be amazing on these. Or just add more butter. But, oh my god, these are just perfect. But guys, seriously, these biscuits are a 10. I've made these with my grandma since I was a baby.
10.
Since I was holding stuff. These are amazing. And you can make these. These are super, if we can make these, they're super easy to do.
Try these at home.
Absolutely try these at home. But other than that, thank you guys for liking and subscribing.
We'll see you guys next time on the Potty Mouth Show.